We've all had moments in life when it feels like life is slipping through our fingers. Maybe it was a big sports competition, an important test, or an event that seemed perfect until it fell apart in the last minute. In these moments, we often try and grab control. We think that by managing every tiny detail and predicting every possible outcome, we'll avoid disappointment, failure, or unexpected twists. But here's the truth. Control is nothing but an illusion. Why do we crave control so much? It's not just about wanting things to go our way, it's rooted deep within our survival instincts. Throughout history, uncertainty meant danger. Not knowing where your next meal would come from or whether you are safe from predators was a direct threat to your survival. As a result, we evolved to seek predictability. Our brains started to crave structure, habits, and routines because they made the world feel safer and more manageable. The need to control comes from our very nature. But here's the catch. This drive for control, while it helped us survive, now works against us. We've become so attached to the idea of controlling every moment that we forget one fundamental truth. Life will not bend to our plans. My name is Dua Shalak, and I have a question for you. How many times has everything in your life unfolded exactly the way you hoped it would? Rarely, right? Most of the time, life has a way of surprising us, sometimes in small ways, sometimes in big, life-changing ways. Our brains are wired to resist uncertainty, and this is where cognitive psychology steps in. Cognitive load theory explains how our brains are constantly working to manage information. We believe that by managing every aspect, we'll avoid disappointment, but what we're really doing is setting ourselves up for mental exhaustion. I remember a time when I desperately wanted to fix something completely out of my hands. A friendship I valued deeply was slipping away, and no matter how hard I tried, the distance kept growing. It was heartbreaking, and it made me feel powerless. I thought that if I could control the situation, I could prevent the inevitable. But the harder I clung to it, the more I lost myself in the process. At some point, I had to accept that some things aren't meant to be forced. I had to let go, not because I wanted to, but because holding on was hurting me more. And when I finally did, something unexpected happened. I felt lighter. I realized that by trying to control everything, I was only making matters worse. I had to let go, not because I wanted to, but because holding on was hurting me more. Now, it wasn't the situation itself that caused my anxiety, but my refusal to let things unfold naturally. The more I tried to force a solution, the more helpless I felt. And yet, when I finally let go, I realized that life has a way of working itself out. Maybe not in a way I planned, but in a way that allowed me to grow, to move forward, and to find new connections in places I hadn't expected. Now, we live in a world where change is constant. From technology evolving overnight to unexpected global events, uncertainty is everywhere. Yet we resist the truth that no matter how much we plan, life will unfold in its own ways. Still, we plan every hour of our day, we create backup plans for our backup plans, and stress over these smallest disruptions. If we stop clinging to the idea of control, we see what life gives for us. Now, the problem with trying to control everything is that it blinds us to possibilities. We become so focused on how things should go, we miss out on what could happen. We avoid risks and resist change, fearing the unknown. But what if we embrace the unknown instead? What if we saw uncertainty not as a threat, but as an opportunity? There's an old saying, if you want to make God laugh, tell him about your plans. It captures a crucial truth about control. It's an illusion. The more you try to force a solution, the more helpless you feel. And yet, when we finally let go of it, we open up to the magic that life has for us. Now, this is where the domino effect comes into play. When one thing goes wrong, it often feels like everything is falling apart. You're missing your alarm, you rush to school, you forget your homework, and suddenly your whole day is ruined. But what if that first domino, that thing that didn't go as planned, was actually an opportunity? Maybe losing that friendship led you to discover people who understood you better. Maybe failing at something led you to discover strengths you never knew you had. If we stop seeing disruptions as disasters and start seeing them as the first step towards something new, we shift our entire perspective. Think about it. Some of the best moments in life happen by accident. The friends we meet by chance, the lessons that come out of nowhere, the opportunities that come from completely nothing, if we stop trying to control everything, we open up to the surprises that life has in store for us. Now, back to our survival instincts. Survival instincts stem from the depths of our ancestors. It helped them stay alive in a dangerous world, but in today's world, it's less about survival and more about comfort. We cling to control, hoping it will shield us from pain, disappointment, or feeling the discomfort. But our brain helps us to avoid everything by clinging onto that discomfort, when real growth comes from embracing it. So next time life throws at me a curveball, I'll remind myself, it's not about controlling everything, but about allowing myself to navigate to the unknown. I'll let go of the illusion of control and allow life to surprise me. When I stop trying to control everything, I open myself to experiences, opportunities, and growth I never thought possible. So take a deep breath, embrace the chaos, laugh at the unexpected, and trust that no matter what happens, you'll find a way through it. Because in the end, the most beautiful moments in life are the ones that we never saw coming. Thank you.